What is going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf, and we are talking first round at the U.S. Open Thursday. We didn't see as tough a test as we thought, Craig, with Winged Foot. What did you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, with everything leading up to the tournament, I expected it to be harder today. They
Yeah,
did say, I mean, first off, you can never control what the weather is, and the wind didn't really
right.
blow. I mean, there was light, super light winds today, but
Minimal.
very
Yeah.
minimal. I don't think it really affected
Yeah.
play that much. Um, the thing that I think as the broadcast went on, they spoke about it a few times. That they were concerned about getting everyone through with the amount of daylight they had, and so
Right.
I
And they didn't.
no, they didn't. There's one group stranded out there. I think they probably came
My
in.
boy Symes is stuck on
He's stuck
18.
out there, yeah.
He's stuck on 18T.
Um, no, but I think they likely used their easier pin locations today in
Yeah.
an effort
Yeah.
to try to get everyone around the course. How about you? What do you think?
I mean, I was super excited. There was a ton of hype around Winged Foot. I woke up at 5 a.m. And I couldn't sleep. I was just so excited. I had to go start watching the broadcast. And I
So
watched
so
pretty
that's
much the
that's
entire
5
day. But
a.m. Mountain time. So it's not like you were up.
Mountain Time. I
It's not
mean,
like you were up hours before the broadcast.
no, five, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah, yeah.
5 a.m. kind of globally is an early time to
Well,
get
it
up.
started at 4 for me,
Um,
so I was not up for it.
yeah, you're not getting up then. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful course. I think it still was a tough test. We see a bunch of got. I mean, Morikawa, Phil, kind of. So you saw some big names kind of blow up today, but to see that many golfers under par, I don't know. It didn't feel like that U.S. Open that we had kind of been promised, that we had been hyped for. You know?
No, I do think. I mean, I think it bodes well. I'm happy with where it is. Like the one thing that it,
Yeah,
it seemed like was that if you got into trouble, it could punish you quickly. But if you
yeah,
did not get into trouble, you could score. So I don't
yeah.
mind that. I think the one problem is it really then starts to spread the field out, and if you're not scoring, you can almost be out of the tournament after the first day.
Well, I think this is going to be by far the biggest scoring day. I mean, we might see guys move back the other 3 days. If I was to put you on the, like, just ask you right now, do you think the winning score is going to be over par or under par or a push at even?
No, I think it'll be under par. Um, but so if I had to guess whether it would be where JT is at -5, I wouldn't be surprised
Right.
if it was, at like I don't think it's going to keep going lower. I think
No,
maybe
I agree.
tomorrow
Yeah.
there's some people are still going lower, but I think on the weekend they're
Saturday's going
really
to
going to start to
punch these
punish
guys
it.
in the
Yeah.
face. Yeah, I agree.
And I'm looking forward to that. Like I want them to have those pin
Yeah.
locations where you gotta be crazy to go at pins almost, or you gotta be somewhat desperate to try to make strokes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy with where it is. I want to see it a bit tougher, but I'm okay even if tomorrow isn't you know
Yeah.
stupid difficult. But I do want to
Yeah.
see it on the weekend start to have a bit more teeth.
No, I completely agree. Yeah. All right. So, a lot of movement today, some low scores, some high scores. Who surprised you?
Well, so I mean, it's not super surprising, but I was a little surprised when I woke up and saw when I woke up I saw Rory at -2 leading the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
Um, so I am very happy to see him at -3. I think that I mean his game he hasn't been in great form. He was a bit better last time we saw him at
Mhm.
the Tour Championship. He had that one really low round, but I mean he hasn't been on form like JT
Right.
and Rom and DJ have. So he left strokes out there as well. So it could
Yeah.
have been lower, but it's nice to see that. I wouldn't say it was a huge surprise. What about you? Anyone
I mean,
specifically?
I got a couple at the top of the leaderboard. Matthew Wolf has been surprising. He did really well at the PGA, and he's doing really well again here. I'm still not completely buying it. I don't know why. Everything looks good, but I'm just not completely buying it. Looking at I mean, I was surprised by Louis Oosthuizen. I mean, I think he holed out
Yeah, I agree.
for an eagle, was it, or was it birdie? Anyways, he had a hole out from the fairway, from a fair distance
It was
away.
either a punch out hole out for birdie. We saw a lot of or quite a few of those today. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that person just made an eagle. No, he punched out of the rough, and that's a birdie.
But I feel like with Louis on Thursday, you just don't know which Louis is going to show up. Like he's got one of the smoothest, silkiest swings. I mean, on the tour. But then he wakes up and he has a bad back and he's 6 over and he's out of it.
Yeah, he's
So I,
also
I love seeing him.
he's not phased by major
No.
championship conditions, so I think that's always a plus for these guys like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The other person who did surprise me a bit, just because I think in one of our shows I had picked him not necessarily for my tournament fade, but in DFS was Bryson.
Mhm.
I was surprised that he came out and he was -1 today. Um,
Mhm.
I didn't. I mean, I don't know if you heard any of the interviews before the round, but he was saying basically he's not changing how he's approaching it. He's gonna try to smash it out there.
Yeah, he was comparing it to Brooks's PGA at Bethpage, was it, where he got inspired to kind of just smash it as far as he can, and he doesn't care if he's in the rough. And I was telling you, I had 4 DFS lineups. I went one with Bryson because hey, if it works, I want to be there if it works.
Yeah, and the other thing he said in that interview was, the power and the strength. It's not just about smashing it off the tee, but it's about getting the club head through that rough. So like when you do
Yeah.
have that higher club head speed, you can muscle through things that other golfers can't. And
I think it was 18 today where he had a huge tree like 50 yards out from the green, and he came up to the ball and he was in the rough for his approach shot. And he just told the caddy, and the reporter, on course reporter, heard. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna muscle it over the tree," and he did from the rough.
yeah,
And let's not forget though, he's also a great putter.
yeah, he is.
So it's not. He's good enough to be around here. He just kind of changed his game a little bit. I like this experiment.
Yeah, the one thing I do think though is potentially if the greens firm up more in the next few days, like they will, bringing it, even if you're closer to it, if you're coming out of the rough, I think you do
Yeah,
lose the ability to control how it's received. Whereas even if you might be a bit further
yeah.
back in the fairway, I think you can control your distance and spin and how it's received into the green a bit more. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch going forward.
So we had a couple pretty crazy moments out there. What was your favorite moment from Thursday?
Well, so for me,
I have a feeling.
So
I
for
have a feeling I know
me,
where this is going.
I was really high on Will Zalatoris going into this,
Yeah,
and so first off, when he makes the hole in one, um, I think it was on, I think it might have been on 7 that he made it, and it was a beauty. It like died in the cup,
yeah.
and it was the same one.
It just got there.
Yeah,
Like it. Yeah.
Patrick Reed had made a hole in one there that was jarred pretty
One hopped.
good.
Yeah.
Um, but then he gets up to 13, which was another par 3, and he almost jars it. This is Will Zalatoris. He almost jars it again. I was
And it's
watching
going
it, and I was like, "Oh
right
my
for the
god!"
pin.
It was going right for the pin, and it hit it super square, and I thought it was gonna fall, and it was one of those ones where it hits it, and then almost bounces off the lip of the cup, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna rattle in," but it just popped and. Um,
I love when you text me after that happened. You're like, if I had a hole in one that tracking like that and hit that center of the pin, I would be pissed if it
I'd
didn't
be
go
so
in.
choked. I mean, yeah, I've never got one, so I'm not even talking about if it was potentially my second one in the same round at the U.S. Open. I just mean if
Yeah.
I ever had that happen, I'd be choked. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that just would have been
Exactly.
crazy. They said,
Yeah.
Faldo said on the broadcast, it's something like 67 million to 1 chance of 2 hole in ones. Um,
Let alone a major, let alone a U.S.
yeah,
Open. Like, oh my,
yeah.
crazy.
What about you? What moment stands out?
Yeah, there's a lot of good moments. The one I really liked. So on hole one, it seemed like the pin was kind of in this half pipe, I
A
guess,
little
and we
trough
saw a couple
type
guys
thing.
hole out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Zach Johnson saw himself like 30 feet to the right, and the announcers were like, "Well, good luck getting this one close." He puts it out like probably 20, 30 feet to his right. It goes over one mound. He shoots it 10 feet past the hole, and then it just starts to come back, and goes right into the cup. It was unbelievable. If you were to draw that putt, it looked like a question mark how it moved. Like it was unbelievable.
He's a little bit unbelievable to me. Like there's no reason of all the people Zach Johnson should be
Yeah.
even par today. Like he's just he's one of these. He's a guy who like Ustasen, he's not phased by major championships, and I also think, I mean, Zach Johnson's not gonna, if something goes wrong and he thinks he hits the right
Yeah.
distance and it catches a slope and kicks way off and he has to do some like make ridiculous putt, he's not going to get phased by that, which I
Yeah.
think is such an advantage for some of these older guys like that.
They've been there. They know it. And if the greens get faster, that's kind of the guys you want to see. The guys that have been there. They've had their putts roll off the green before, and they're kind of, yeah, that can happen at a U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Move on.
So early on, we're looking like the cut tomorrow will be somewhere around five. Potentially
Yeah.
4, 5, or 6, but somewhere around five.
Yeah.
So with the guys we have now, we have 57 are at 2 over or better. So who do you think at 3 or worse has a chance to come from outside the top 60 and make it?
Yeah, I actually think there's a really interesting group, and I think that group is tied for 92 right now, the +4 group. We got Hatton, Stacia, Kuchar, Woodland, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood. Talent. Like there's tons, not only for DFS purposes, there's a ton of ownership there, but just for major talent, golfing talent, there's a ton of guys there that's going to really determine kind of, I think, how this cut line goes.
And a few of them I wouldn't have expected to be at 4 today with
Well,
the way
Hatton
conditions
was
were.
leading for a little bit at
Yeah,
2 under. I mean, with the early wave,
it looked
and
like
he just,
Hatton missed a few putts. When
yeah,
I was watching him, it looked like and he wasn't too happy about some of them.
yeah. So if I'm picking a guy here, and maybe not the most obvious one, but I'm taking Matt Fitzpatrick because he lost 2 strokes on the green. I think last season, the 2020 PGA season, he was at least top in putting and strokes in
Well,
putting.
we were talking about this before. He was in the field this week. He was the number one putter last year.
He was the number one putter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was, I want to say maybe Denny McCarthy was
Yes.
better
Yeah,
on the
that's right.
season last year, but he's not in the field. So yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick should be
And
the
I
best
had
putter
to
out
go
there.
back and look at his scorecard, but it just seemed like a couple double bogeys where he was like 8 feet out for
So he did have one, I
par.
think, where yeah, I think it was a double where it was ugly. Like he missed.
Yeah.
I think he might have gone too. When they try to ram home something and
Yeah.
it gets a little bit too aggressive. But yeah,
So yeah, I mean, Fleetwood's gonna be interesting. Fitzpatrick, Kuchar, Stenson, Hatton, Woodland, defending champion. That group's gonna be really interesting. Who are you looking at outside the top 60?
so one guy that, I mean, this isn't terribly far outside, but I mean, there's a lot of guys at 3 over 2 who you would think should be pretty competitive tomorrow. I mean, DJ's one of them, but the guy I think is Daniel Berger. He's at 3 over right now. He's been
Right.
playing so well since the restart. I think,
Yeah.
he's one of these guys too that is not, he doesn't, I don't think he gets too high or too low. I think he just goes out there and he does his thing and he moves on
Yeah.
to the next shot. I saw him almost chip one in and it was just hanging on the edge. And you could
Yeah.
see he was
Yeah.
like, I felt rod, but then he's like, okay.
That was
Like
that
that's,
was like a dimple away from
yeah,
going in. That
yeah.
was crazy.
Um,
I think at a point too, he was maybe +5. He was for sure +4. I think he birdied his last hole. He might have
Well,
been
he
even
also
+5 today. So
the back was playing harder than the front,
right.
so
Yeah.
he was one of the guys that started on the back, and there was just more opportunities to make birdies on the front nine. So
Yeah.
I noticed that early on that the guys who started on the back
Right.
early on in the day were all the ones who were starting to fill up the bottom of the leaderboard, and then it
Yeah.
balanced out as
And
the day
it
went
made
on.
some moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Any
s-
final thoughts on what we're looking at for Friday, or
no, I mean, so it's
what happened on Thursday?
I guess the two. I mean, Phil is out of it. Tiger will be interesting to watch on the cut. He's another guy who's at 3.
Yeah.
Um, But I think it's going to be a really exciting cut day tomorrow because, first off, we're a little bit smaller. Normal PGA Tour events now are 65, top 65 and
Right.
ties,
Yeah.
whereas this is just the top 60. But then it's also one of these tournaments where I think you can make the cut line, and with what may happen on the weekend, I don't think you're out of the tournament. So
Yeah,
it
I agree.
these guys who are at 3 or 4, they're in no ways out of this tournament. If it's so easy for people to make big numbers out there, yeah, they're gonna have to do
Yeah.
work, and other people may have to come back to them a bit. But um, I
It kind of
think
makes you wish that they had that rule of like within 10 strokes of the lead, because I think that might even count a few more in potentially.
yeah, but I mean the yeah, it would get messy because you get so many guys into the weekend
Yeah,
on a week like
for
this.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a great cut day tomorrow, and then I'm really excited for that. But then more so what that sets the stage for leading into the weekend.
For the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit tougher tomorrow. I think it's gonna be really interesting how this PM AM wave responds to the wind tomorrow because it is gonna pick up. And the guys that we haven't seen for a couple rounds, we'll see how they do. Those guys like Tiger, like Hatton. Yeah, so we had our pick summary from Wednesday that we posted on our website, Grandstand Golf. I think me and you are feeling pretty good about the winner. Kevin probably can't show his face on the video right now, picking
Well,
DJ.
DJ, he's one of these guys that's at 3 where he needs to go out there. I mean, obviously he needs to make the cut, but he needs to go out there early on and get a couple back because,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think. Yeah, it depends a lot on the conditions, but I think DJ needs to find some strokes early here if he wants to have a chance to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Rom is only 1 under, but I'm pretty comfortable with him there. I think there's still so much volatility left.
He could have been 3 or 4
Yeah.
easily, 3 or 4 under. Yeah.
And you
I
know it's
feel,
not going to be one on Thursday for these guys, but you could play your way
yeah.
out of it. So
I mean, I think the other notable thing there is you had Zalatoris there with almost a
almost a double
double
ace.
hole in
Well,
one.
the other
And then
notable one
Peters, my
is
boy.
Peters. Yeah, actually, all our
Yeah.
sleepers are
I,
looking pretty good. Um,
I don't feel like Peters is going to fall off a bit or at all. I really like his game in general, and if he can be average on the greens, look out.
yeah, I was really impressed by him today. I don't know if we spoke about him earlier, but he was bombing it and he was making putts.
He looked really good.
Yeah. Okay, so if there's nothing else, should we wrap it up and
Yeah, so we also have a round two showdown video. So go check that out for DFS purposes. We talked DraftKings prices, but obviously for all DFS plays there. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. And click the bell to catch upcoming videos. We're going to do a couple more for the US Open. And enjoy the upcoming golf.
Yep, look out for another video tomorrow, and yeah, enjoy the day tomorrow, guys.
Take care.